Away from that and on to the big relief to former Maldivian president. The country's Supreme Court has stayed an arrest order against Mohamed Nasheed. The reprieve has paved the way for the return of the self-exiled politician. Later this week, the Prosecutor General had requested the top court to review the terrorism conviction and prison sentence of 13 years awarded to Nasheed in 2015. The top court is now ordered to delay Nasheed's sentence till the time the court reviews his case. The Prosecutor General's office had sought a review of Nasheed's conviction under the country's tough terrorism law. He was sentenced to 13 years in jail for ordering the military to detain a top judge when he was president in 2012. The move comes days before newly elected president Ibrahim Mohamed Solih is scheduled to take his oath of office. Solih is a close ally of Nasheed and has unseated former pro-China leader Abdullah Yameen in the September elections by a 17% margin. We now have on the phone line former president of Maldives, Mohamed Nasheed, joining us. Mr. Mohamed Nasheed, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us and speak to Wion World is One. Talk to us. This, in a sense, is vindication for you. Now, tell us when exactly are you planning to go to Maldives and what exactly are you planning to do once you land in Maldives?
Well, thank you very much. The plan is, the intention is to go home day after tomorrow on the 1st of November. It's a huge satisfaction and a big relief that I am able to go home and not be arrested as I land there. The Supreme Court has ruled that my sentence and my convictions should be suspended. So this is a very big satisfaction, relief. I will be able to now see my family, see friends, see colleagues. I will be able to again work back at home.
So is that your plan? Can you tell us in terms of timeline? Now, this is the latest news that's coming from Maldives. There is a stay on your conviction. When exactly, in how many days will you reach Maldives? And tell us in terms of your POA, your plan of action, because you have now Mr. Solih, who's going to take charge as the leader of the country. Your party has won the elections. How do you play a role in the future of Maldives from here on?
I think all of us must try to maintain the government in government. That would be our primary focus. And I will do whatever I can to make sure that we maintain stable government and that power is always transferred through the ballot and nowhere else, and it always remains as such. So my work would be to see that the government is stable and also to see that we entrench democracy in the Maldives, to see that we consolidate democracy in the Maldives. And I think that's a handful of work to do.
That is a handful. I agree with you, Mr. Nasheed. But you've been not in your own home country for 2 years. You've been in self-exile for 2 years, and you've watched all that happened in Maldives. What were you thinking? And now also, it's not like it's all over. The conviction has been stayed, but the proceedings and the investigations will continue.
Well, there was, when you introduced me, there was a little mistake in my view,
okay,
that I ordered to arrest a judge. I think if you look at the facts, that wasn't the case.
Fair enough.
So
that's with this staying in conviction, Mr. Nasheed, that's what it means.
If I'm not, please listen. If I am given a free trial, I will not have a conviction.
And which means that you need to, continue fighting this case in the courts of Maldives even after you get back.
Well, I would like to see a fair trial.
And you're clear that...
Or at least, that there should be a review of how the trial went, conviction was made, and how the judgment was made.
Absolutely. And, the way you were treated, post your term as president and the hardships that you had to go through, after all of that, now you get to go back to Maldives without the fear that anybody would take action. In this, in a frame of mind, what do you think, Maldives holds for you as promise, at this stage?
Well, Maldives is always home. And I'm sure I'm always welcome there. And I'm sure that the vast majority of the people do believe that we have done good work in the Maldives and that there is more good work to do. So we will do that, and we will continue to be doing that good work, which is to develop democracy, to make sure that democracy is sustainable in the Maldives.
Right, and a lot of concerns about democracy in Maldives, even after the elections, Mohamed Nasheed, on whether, Abdullah Yameen will relinquish power peacefully. But now it seems like it's almost a done deal. It's a matter of time before Ibrahim Mohamed Salih takes over.
Yeah, it's always been a matter of time. It was always a done deal. We always knew that the people of the Maldives were behind us. They did not want the dictatorship to be entrenched. They did not want authoritarian rule. They did not like any of the things that President Yameen were doing. So they voted for us overwhelmingly. And when that vote came out, there was very little that President Yameen actually could have done. And I didn't really quite believe that President Yameen could do more after the results were announced. So I think it's all over for President Yameen, and we will be forming a government. President Ibrahim Mohamed Salih will be forming a government come November 17th.
Yes, it's all over for Yameen, but it's an uphill task for the government that's taking over, because the economic and other problems of Maldives continue, and it's up to the government now to fix all that's gone wrong so far.
Well, of course, yes, it would be a challenge, but I believe we can have a better grip on the situation once we are in government, and I believe we would be able to deliver. We don't have a doubt about it.
And if I can ask you again, what in particular would you like to do once you get back to Maldives and with the political scenario in Maldives? You
see, I've just spent a very long time in exile, away from family, away from friends. So I think it would do me a lot of good just to settle down at home, have conversations with friends, and then just to see how I should go from there on. I don't have to instantly decide on what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Right. Mr. Mohamed Nasheed, thank you so much for taking time out and speaking to Wion. World is One. We wish you all the best on your return back to home country, Maldives.